Hello, and welcome to Inklings with Irena, the weekly energy show connecting you to your intuitive guidance system. And today I want to talk about how to avoid leaving help on the table. Maybe you've heard that phrase, avoid leaving money on the table. And basically the idea behind there are moments where we kind of missed out on a good deal. So for example, maybe we have clients that we've been charging $200 for a certain service and they would gladly, more than happily, pay $500. Or maybe you're applying for college and you skip applying for grants or scholarships. And that's an example of leaving money on the table. There are those moments where you could have had really incredible, valuable resources that you missed out on. And that's never any fun, especially in hindsight. There's a lot of kicking ourselves when that happens. If we haven't met, my name is Irena Miller, and I've been guiding women for over 20 years in just how to avoid missing these incredible opportunities. Executives who can stand in their own power and find their voice using the systems I teach them to ask for that raise, to negotiate a new salary. Entrepreneurs who maybe are a little camera shy and are hesitating to do that webinar or their weekly show. I share with them practices, tools, and that's what I'm here to do with you today. There are 3 specific key action steps that my clients are taking that makes all the difference. So before I get into those 3 key items, when you hop on, definitely give me a hello, a quick shout out. Let me know where you're watching from. Hi, Pamela, good to have you. So first I want to share with you the story of Joe. I love this story because it's a wonderful visual and example of just what it's like to leave opportunities and resources behind. Joe, wonderful Joe, had a great life, enjoyed it to the fullest, and it came to the point where it was time for him to transition and go up to heaven. And when Joe went up to heaven, he was greeted by St. Peter, the pearly gates, and St. Peter said, "Hey Joe, great to have you," and handed him a calendar. Now, Joe was a little confused, thinking, why am I being handed this calendar? And he looks at the calendar and he notices the little square box with dates had presents on them. There were a lot of presents, and this calendar went on. It was like a thick booklet. And he noticed something strange about these little presents that were on the calendar. Most of them were wrapped. Only a few were unwrapped. So now Joe's really confused, and he turns to St. Peter and he said, "St. Peter, why are you handing me this calendar, and what's the deal with the presents? Why are there so many gifts? It wasn't my birthday that many times. It wasn't a holiday or a celebration." And St. Peter smiled at Joe and said, "Joe, these are all the gifts of grace that were offered to you. And the ones that are opened were the ones that you received and accepted, and the ones that stayed wrapped were the ones you chose not to." Oh, I get goosebumps. How many times have we kicked ourselves in hindsight at missed opportunity of losing out on valuable resources? Maybe we didn't even know those resources were there. Maybe we didn't have the confidence, or there was a limiting belief that held us back from going after that resource. This is what gets me fired up. This is what I love to share. So what I usually share just with my clients, I'm sharing with you today because I don't want you to miss out on these valuable resources. The first key action step that I encourage my students to take is to be open to receiving, right? If we're not open to receiving grace, we can't do anything to earn it. We don't necessarily deserve it. It's just a gift freely given without strings. But we definitely can be open to receiving it. There are ways that we can shut down and not even see these gifts of grace around us. So for a quick example, I'll share an experience one of my clients just had, because this gives me goosebumps. I'm so excited. She is getting ready for a major move. She's moving from one country to another, and her home is being packed up. She has help, and it's being packed up by these helpers. She has 17 crates worth of her wonderful things all packed up, ready to be shipped overseas. And in the midst of it all, her husband turns to her and says, where are the titles to our 2 cars? Because here's the thing, moving countries, there's certain things they can ship home and certain things they can't. And the cars, they can't bring with them. So they wanted to sell them to earn some money. It might as well. Moving across the ocean, changing countries, it's not a easy, cheap adventure. so they couldn't find the titles. Now, what would have normally escalated an already stressful situation, they have to pack up and leave in a very short window of time. And the place is a wreck, as it would be. Anybody's space, boxes everywhere, papers, bits and pieces. And all of a sudden, you look and you say, where are those titles? You almost want to laugh. But my client remembered, she's like, oh my gosh, I've got this technique from Irena. I'm going to use the technique and I'm going to ask my unseen helpers, my angels and my guides, where are those important pieces of paper, the titles? And I kid you not within a matter of weeks or months or years, or even hours, but in a matter of minutes, my client's husband put his hand on the envelope that held the titles. Oh, I get goosebumps. All of a sudden, the mood was elevated. The stress was alleviated. Oh my gosh. And they could make money from selling the cars. They didn't have to miss out on that. We have friends in high places, and so often we're not tapping into that resource. So that leads me to the next key piece of this, which is feeling valued, which is an interesting one, right? A lot of this goes into an underlying energy that can sabotage us when we are looking to tap into these valuable resources all around us. The first thing is that sometimes it's like, who am I to ask? I don't want to bother anybody. They're busy. Somebody's going to think I'm crazy if I'm calling on my angels. But here's the thing. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to tell anybody that you're asking St. Anthony to help you find your lost keys, or the runner guides to help you find a great parking spot because you've got a car full of young children and you need to get in and out of the grocery store quickly. These are all experiences where you can develop a relationship with your angels and your guides to uplift you on your journey. And then the final key action step, which is so important that I usually just share with my clients, is exercising free will. Here's an important piece. We have free will. And our angels and guides, no matter how they want to help, they can't step in and help unless we ask. Now, there are exceptions to the rules. Like if you're almost going to get hit by a car and it's not your time to go, your angels can perform miracles. I've got a lot of cool client stories like that, including my own. But otherwise, you have to ask for the help. You have to take action and say, okay, angels, help me out in this space and time. I need that guidance. I need that extra support. So I invite you to start to engage with your angels and your guides. Stop wondering about, or kicking yourself about leaving those valuable resources behind on the table. There's a world of joy that's available to you. So if you are ready for the next level of this, make sure you click the little link below or above and continue the conversation with me, because there are many more techniques that you can use to engage with your angels and your guides to tap into these valuable resources. Thanks for joining me. Sarah, it's great to have you, and Lori and Candy. Oh my gosh, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll catch you all on the flip side. Bye, guys.